Hello and welcome to this edition of India in 2.0. I'm Nayantara Rai. Today, I've come to the flagship store of India's leading fashion designer, Varun Bahl. He's of course one of the favorites of celebrities and Bollywood stars. So come, join me in this conversation as I find out what are the upcoming trends for the new wedding season. Thanks, Varun, for joining us here on ET Now and inviting us to your flagship store in New Delhi.
Thank you.
First things up, how's business? I understand it's a slow season. It's not wedding season as yet, but how's business?
I know, but you know, people start sort of looking around at this time and then they wait. July is the time when we come up with a new couture collection. So yeah, they start sort of doing their research and shortlisting things, and it's wedding season and it's not just about the bride and the bridal outfit. It has so many other things to do with it, to go with it. So
tell me something ahead of the new collection. For all the brides, the grooms and everybody else, what are the new trends that you're seeing?
Well, you know, I see a lot of shift in from heaviness to sort of lightness and easy on the eye, more individualistic, more about the bride's personality rather than what is expected of her.
Okay. So when you get this lightness, and would it also mean lightness in prices?
Okay, so now that's one outfit that the bride never compromises on, and that's something that they've had in their mind for forever. And I think the size of the wedding can be cut down, the number of guests invited can be cut down, a destination wedding can be sort of not be a destination wedding anymore, but that's one outfit that never...
And any colors that you think would be hot in the coming season?
Pastels, a lot of ivory and gold is, as I see, coming back as a bridal color now. That's considered not a bridal color, but slowly but surely there's a big shift happening in that color. Yeah.
So when we move towards pastels and the lighter stuff, what about the silhouettes and the cuts? Do you think it'll still going to stay the way it has been for a while now, or?
Yeah, I mean, a lehenga will be a lehenga. I mean, you know, sometimes it's sort of voluminous with a lot of can, which is sort of very dramatic, and sometimes it's traditional. It's just sort of, you know, lots of panels which sort of fall down beautifully. Blouse, neckline, up, down, etc. here and there. But then a bride has always imagined herself in a bridal attire, and I don't think that's changing, and I don't think it should.
Okay. Yeah. What about floor lengths? That's been around for a while now, narcolis.
Yeah, but that's more of a reception outfit. That's like something like these.
Yeah.
That's more reception. But for the wedding, it's a lehenga or a traditional sari.
So what can we expect from Varun Bahl in the new collection? You've given a little idea, but give us a sneak peek.
One word I can say is, let's say, ethereal, light, pretty.
So, you know, I also want to get an idea of the business. You know, what is it that you are planning as terms of the business, the number of stores, your expansion plans?
See, we are looking at opening a few stores this year. I mean, the immediate one is going to be in Bombay, which should be next month. We'll continue to nurture our, you know, the luxury sort of market that we have. We have a strong niche in this segment, and we will continue to nurture that. But of course, we have very extensive plans of coming up with a very nice, affordable Pret line, but of luxury Pret, let's call it that way.
But
so that's in the pipeline. No, it'll be actually both Indian and...
So that's quite a breakout area for you.
Yes.
So what made you convince you that this is the time to do it?
I actually started off with Western wear. It was not, and then I slowly got into this, and I loved it so much that I concentrated on this a bit more. And then, now that this is fairly set, and you know, I have the time, also the will to do something new. So
how will you divide your time between the Pret line, the new to be launched Pret line, plus what we're seeing here at this store?
And many other things that I'm doing.
Oh, tell us what else you're doing.
We've come up with a product design line for gifting.
So when are you launching all of this?
In the next 2-3 months.
Next 2-3 months. I also believe you've gotten into something to do with wedding design.
Yes, that's another thing which takes up a lot of your time. Wedding decor, which is something I've always been interested in interiors. Done a couple of small little interior projects for friends, etc., for myself. But this is something related to the Indian wedding, and Indian wedding is big and it's exciting. Last year we did our Mr. President of the Fashion Design Council, Mr. Sunil Sethi's daughter's wedding. It was really appreciated. Before, we've done a few projects and we're doing a few more this year, and just expanding on that as well.
So when you tell me that you want to open more stores, you want to start new kind of products, enter new kind of collection wear, etc., that would mean that people are buying, the consumption story is good?
Yeah, of course.
No, because on ground we keep hearing about how the economy is slowing down, but this would indicate otherwise, right?
So again, as I said, it's that day in a bride's life. The size of the wedding can come down, the number of guests can come down, clothes, no. Yeah, the decor will be probably less, but it'll still happen.
But did you know, have you noticed a resizing of budget? You're saying since the bride doesn't want to compromise.
No, I actually just noticed, yes, the sentiment was hurt in the beginning, post demonetization, but we've had a pretty good 18 months post that.
And after that you've had GST as well, and you know, you're a great person to check this with, because look at all your stuff, you know, all of it is handmade. You have to go work with your karigars, the handicraft guys, etc. How's life been post GST?
Let's just put it this way, that people are getting used to the cashless economy.
And input credit obviously helps with them at least?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so give me a little more idea of what we can expect from Varun Bahl going forward, and we're going to focus on what all you have been up to. You know, which are the new fashion weeks that you're focusing on?
Well,
what was the rest of the year looking like?
India Couture Week, opening 2 stores, one with the whole product thing, which is next door.
Okay.
One in Bombay, the launch of the Pret line. I think that's pretty, these are pretty, and of course the Aurum by Varun Bahl, which is a luxury wedding decor company to expand.
Okay.
So I think this is pretty good for the rest of the year. There's hardly any
you got a
time
busy
left.
calendar that is pretty much lined up.
I like that actually.
Okay. So with that, Varun, I'm going to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We're in conversation with Varun Bahl. Welcome back. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. I'm Nayantara Rai, and today I'm in conversation with Varun Bahl. Varun, tell me something. You went to NIFT. You were the first Indian designer to also, you know, be at the Milan. One of the first. So did you always know that you were going to be a fashion designer? How did you start off?
That's one of the things. Yes, since the very beginning, I was really interested in it, and I belong to a family of garment exports, etc. So that's where the interest started, you know, coming into my head, heart, and then I just took it too seriously, and I decided it. I mean, I'm actually living my dream. I wanted to be this.
So when you were a kid, like, were you sketching and doodling and things like that?
I was.
Yeah?
All the time.
So tell me something, for all the youngsters that are watching you and, you know, they're watching Varun Bahl, and if they have aspirations of being a designer, what would your advice be to them?
My one advice that I give all the, you know, the aspiring designers is that don't ignore your own culture. What happens is that when they're studying it, they find it really cool to sort of become Western wear designers, etc. And they sort of look down upon Indian fashion, and I've noticed that, which I feel is a wrong thing to do. So yeah, that's one big advice, that, you know, don't ignore it, because what we have is no one in the world has. It's our culture, heritage, the kind of embroideries that we do, the kind of colors, the kind of fabrics that we make in our country. Just concentrate on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So just focus. And what about fusion? You know, it can, if it's wrong, it can go horribly wrong, right? Where do you stand as far as that debate goes?
I don't like the word fusion to begin with, but yeah, I guess that's the one.
Indo-Western.
Worse.
Yeah. It's worse? So you never get into that, and would that be part of your advice as well?
Why not? I mean, you know, it's like a fusion of things and 2 different things. That's always very interesting, provided, you know, I mean, how it turns out and how it comes out. But yeah, that's pretty interesting, and that's something I also do. That I'm working on. That the other.
So your Pret line is going to be. I know you hate the word.
It's going to be a couple of things.
Okay. I know this is a problem that all of you have, and which is plagiarism. You know, you can show your tailor a Varun Bahl design and say, I want this. How bad is that for business?
It's annoying, but I don't know what can one do with it, and what can one do to sort of you know, protect yourself from it, because the copyright laws are not very strong. You have to have certain, just minor 12 differences in the copy and the original, and the copy can actually be called an original and not a copy. So we just, I think we've had a couple of designers winning. I think Ritu Kumar was one of them who won a case against. But I think after that, none. I guess, to be honest, we get so busy and involved in our day-to-day lives and creating newer things and expanding and etc. We tend to overlook it, but I think one should take this seriously.
But what can you do? What are you going to get? Chandni Chowk shops, for example, in central Delhi raided?
Yes, there are a couple actually.
yeah, it's a very famous one.
That's what I said. Either you get involved yourself so much in it and bother yourself, and you get involved in this whole thing, or you just keep making newer things. And I think mostly all over the world, people just decide to move on and just start making the newer things.
Tell me, have you ever gone to a wedding or a party and spotted a Varun Bahl fake?
Yes.
Yes. How many times?
Yes. And some people known to me.
Yeah?
People known to me quite a few times. People known to me.
Did you tell them off?
No. Because first of all, they don't see eye to eye, but I do sort of pass off a comment saying, nice, where did you get it?
And they know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not direct, but fakes are so badly made and they're so tacky and bad quality, and it just puts me off. That in any case puts me off.
Have you ever seen a fake where you're like, okay, that's not so bad?
Never.
Never. You're never going to admit that anyway.
A fake is a fake.
Yeah? When you went to Milan, you were like the man in the fashion industry. And I'm sorry to ask this question or be cheeky.
Many years ago.
Yes. And after that, you've seen others come up. For example, Sabyasachi. How do you react to that? Like,
actually, he's been around. I shouldn't be answering this. He's been around way before me, so he's done very well for himself. I appreciate good work.
And when I talk about fashion, and especially Indian wear, how can we not talk about Bollywood? How's the association with Bollywood going? You had also come out with a line, for example, with Karan Johar.
Yes. But I'm a fashion designer, and they're all very pretty ladies, and there's obviously some connection there. So we do dress up quite a few. And the line with Karan Johar didn't. It lived its life, and I guess we both got really involved in our work, and it didn't sort of go beyond the 3-4 years that we did it. I think we did some massive shows, and that was about it.
Yeah. Are you looking for similar tie-ups again with somebody else?
Nothing that I've thought of, but I'm open to associations and tie-ups like this.
What about brand ambassadors? Would you ever look at something like that?
I guess whoever wears it and repeatedly, they somehow are your muses and ambassadors. But
so as you expand and you open more stores, etc., you start a Pret line, you get into new products, etc. Obviously, you'll have to expand the number of your employees. You'll also be increasing indirect employment. And these days, jobs is, of course, a big buzzword. Do you look at yourself, and are you conscious of yourself being a job creator?
Of course.
And how many people do you have directly?
A couple of hundred.
Couple of hundred? Yes. So you have
indirectly a lot more.
And how many manufacturing facilities do you have? Do you have like the whole back end already in place for the expansion plans that you have?
Absolutely.
What about overseas?
See, that happens first, and then your plans materialize into reality.
Yeah.
So the team has already expanded.
Yeah. And what about overseas? What are your overseas
ambitions? Well, that's next. There's plans of doing this Pret line that I'm working on. That is, in fact, I'm traveling tonight to have a few meetings about that. That's more of a global thing, and it may start here, it may start somewhere. That's one decision left, which should be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a short commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. Welcome back. You're watching India Inc. 2.0. I'm Nayantara Rai, and today I'm in conversation with leading fashion designer Varun Bahl. So Varun, we discussed a little bit about how you always knew that you wanted to be a fashion designer. If someone were to look at you today, they see this really successful story. But there has to have been some struggles. There must have been some times when you thought that, oh my God, what am I doing? Some people even go bankrupt. So I'm looking for some anecdotes of what the initial struggles were like. We can also act as a source of inspiration, right?
You know, initial struggles, if you look back at them today, you just laugh it off. And I guess with age, your ability to deal with these kind of struggles becomes easier and easier and easier. That's exactly what we call experience. So I would say, yes, I'm experienced.
But give me an anecdote. Tell me the biggest thing that you had to go through, your biggest learning curve, we can call it that.
I think that when I decided to concentrate more on India, Indian product, Indian market, because I, again, was all set to sort of only cater to the West and to Western fashion and clothes. That shift was the best thing I've ever did in my career, I think. But it was a bit difficult because as people may say, oh, Indian designers can only make saris and lehengas. But I promise you, it's very, very challenging to come up with something new each season. And it's not easy to do a sari and a lehenga. There's a lot of thought process and to keep changing it and still make it look like your own. There's a struggle. The struggle continues every day, actually.
And you were never interested in taking up your parents' garment export business?
I was a part of it in the beginning, of course, and then I started off another section in that with my brother, of course. Both of us did that, and we started. I specialized in embroideries, and that you can see that.
Yeah.
So slowly, I think this became my main thing.
So you're obviously very, very creative. But are you also a good businessman, or do you leave that to someone else?
That's my brother.
So he's the man who looks after the business, and you.
Well, I think it's very good when you work with your brother, and when you work. It's very good to define roles, and I do what I do, and he does what he does, and we don't really sort of step into each other's.
So basically, he leaves the creative aspect to you, and he.
Yes,
will
but
look
of course
after
we
the
discuss everything. But
do you
then
fight?
We discuss everything. I mean, no, we not really.
You don't fight with your brother? Are you real?
There's always sometimes there's a difference of opinion which may end up in a little bit of a argument, but no, not really.
Yeah,
okay.
And who wins the argument? I think like
whoever's right.
Now, you said you like embroidery. So how do you find ideas for each collection? Do you like travel through India? Do you go to different parts? How do you do it? Because each region has its own kind, right?
You've done that. I have some fantastic books that I keep going back to for referencing, which I've collected over the last 15 years. But you actually, the whole thing about sitting and imagining something and then converting it into a three-dimensional reality product, swatch, outfit is the most interesting part for me. And then the whole process of doing it from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, that also helps you create newer things.
Okay, so now you've reached or evolved to a stage where you perhaps don't need to travel to different regions, meet new karigars to find inspiration.
No, you do, but it's a small world. You see, a lot of people come now because Delhi is the hub of, let's say, fashion, etc. And then a lot of people, people are making such beautiful fabrics and different kinds of embroidery materials, and either they're making it on their own or they're importing it. They find their way to us on their own.
You said Delhi is the capital where people come, and you've been in the business for so long. So do you have favorites right now for the kind of fabrics and the kind of embroidery or the stones?
Favorite fabrics, yeah. I mean, I love net. I love raw silk. I love Indian raw silk. I love Chanderi is my actually most favorite.
So will we see a lot of Chanderi in your new collection?
You actually, it's full of it.
Okay. So, when customers come, and you said every girl has an idea already of what her wedding dress will be like. So when they want to come and change a lot of things in your outfit and say, I don't want this border, or I want this kind of a border, make my chunni heavier, make it lighter, and then it should change the price. Actually, this should be this tone lighter.
How do you know all this?
I know all this, 2 tones darker.
How?
Those real, you're exactly what you're talking about. How do you deal with that?
You listen to them because they're getting married. And then you make them understand that why is this border here and why not that one. And
if they don't listen to you, then you just do what they say, you customize it?
Of course, the girl, it's a big day, so minor customization, of course, but we haven't really come up with the design it yourself section yet.
Okay. Would you ever do that?
You never know, why not? You have to make it interesting.
So tell me
DIY is a big thing now.
Yeah, it is. You can even buy a DIY sari blouse online. What about e-commerce? We're talking on, also happen to be doing this interview
Majorly
on a
working
day.
on it currently.
Yeah. Oh, you are? What are the plans?
This whole Pret thing will start off with that. It will not be a part of our couture stores. So we will have an offline store eventually, but it'll start off with e-commerce.
And you'll do it yourself, or would you prefer to tie up with someone who already has a large e-commerce presence?
We're in conversation with a couple of people to do that right now.
Oh, so you haven't made up your mind as yet whether it should be your own website or...
It will be our own, but as to who takes it forward, who handles it, etc.
Oh, the nitty-gritties you mean?
Yeah, the nitty-gritties.
Okay.
But it'll be our own.
So as we come to an end of this interview, I've planned a small rapid fire round, and I do hope you're going to be as candid as you have been through this entire interview. So Varun Bahl, tell me, who has been the best celebrity you've ever dressed, man and woman?
Quite a few.
No, diplomatic.
When you dress up someone, it's you just love all of them, and there's no top best one, the best. No.
Who have you had the most fun with?
All.
You're so diplomatic.
All.
I thought you were going to be more...
Honestly, this is a more appropriate question for somebody who's based in Bombay.
Are you going to obviously not answer my next question, which was who's been the most fussy to dress up?
Quite a few.
Okay, who would you like to dress up who you haven't dressed up?
Madonna.
Okay. She's my all-time favorite. Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah?
Even at the Met Gala, day before yesterday, brilliant.
Yeah.
Each year, each time, each good.
She's a classic example of how to reinvent.
Yeah.
Who is your role model?
In general, I appreciate talent and hard work. So I love the success story of, let's say, Giorgio Armani, who started off really, really late in life and is the biggest brand in the world. So I would say him.
What is your biggest nightmare that could happen on the runway?
You know that I have this feeling that this is big truss which holds the lights. I'm always scared, and I always pray to God that it shouldn't fall down.
It's not about your model falling down, but it's about the lights falling down.
Models have fallen down, and that's hardly a nightmare. It doesn't hurt that much, but if that truss falls on them or on the people, that's my biggest nightmare.
What has been your best fashion show, you think?
Oh, this launch of Aurum, the wedding decor company, which was 2 years ago. We did a massive setup in a private home in Lutyens, Delhi, in Connaught Place actually. We created this 30,000 square feet space with a hangar, which is from scratch. We built it and decorated it, and people were sitting on long dining tables and sipping wine and seeing the show. Okay. That one.
That was a different one. That was like an experience type thing that you, the way you were describing it.
Were you there?
No, but you're describing it really well, so I can make it as an experience.
That was one of the most memorable ones, of course.
Try to answer this one. Who do you think is the most stylish lady in Bollywood today?
Obviously, Saurabh Kapoor, I would say that. She takes risks. She experiments. And she knows how to do it. So yeah, I would say that.
Have you ever designed for?
Yes, in the past.
Yeah? Has it been like as quirky as she likes to wear it?
I think she makes everything her own, and that's what's amazing about her.
Okay. And who would you say is a stylish man in Bollywood?
I mean, I would say Mr. Bachchan is very stylish. I would say Arjun Rampal is very stylish. Yeah.
Not Shah Rukh Khan?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
That's a safe one to always say, Shah Rukh Khan, right? Okay, and my final question to you, because this is what everybody's been discussing of late. What did you think of Sonam Kapoor's wedding lehenga?
I think it's beautiful, simple, traditional, and I'm pretty sure she imagined herself like that. So hence, because she wears what she wants to.
Have you ever seen anybody wear a wedding lehenga, and if you could share that with us and think, wow, why didn't I design that?
No. No. Why didn't I design it for this person, or why didn't I make that design?
Both.
Never. The second question, never. Yeah, sometimes you feel like, I mean, I would have loved to design for Sonam Kapoor, for example.
But you never looked at anybody else's lehenga and said, oh, I wish I could have come up with
No, I
that.
love my work.
And with that, Varun Bahl, I'm going to thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us.
And sorry for some of the disappointing answers.
You're a very politically correct person, unlike many others in your fraternity.
Absolutely not. I honestly, I didn't know what to say.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.